it? Am I on?
Yeah.
Does it show anybody? Or me?
We can't see the video up here. Is it working?
I usually see myself and them.
He's okay to start talking.
Dre Greenlaw will not practice, groin. Elijah Mitchell, he'll be limited with his knee. Mo Hurst won't practice with his calf. Huff Hufanga won't practice with his knee. Aziz won't practice with his knee. DJ Jones is limited with his ankle. Jimmy Garoppolo, the trainers are taking him out right now to see how much he can do. If he can do some, he'll be limited today. If not, he won't practice. We'll try again tomorrow. Go ahead, guys.
Kyle, could you clear something up? You said it was a thumb sprain on Monday, and then after you said that, Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport both reported that there was more significant damage. One reported a chipped bone, another reported a fracture of the thumb. Can you kind of clear that up and whether surgery is in the future for Garoppolo?
Yeah, I've been told he does not need surgery right now. To clear that up, the reason that was worded that way is because that's the way it was worded to me. He does have there's 3 types of sprains, and he has a grade 3 sprain. Since I got to give you guys, I guess, more information to clear up Ian and Adam's tweet. It is a grade 3 sprain. The reason they never mentioned to me a fracture is because that really didn't have much to do with it. When you on the 3rd degree sprain that he has on his UCL ligament, when that is ripped up, it pulled off a little fleck of his bone. And so when there's a bone that has anything off of it, you can call it a fracture, you can call it a chip, you can call it something, but that really isn't what's keeping him out. It's the 3rd degree sprain that he has, but because it's not moving and stuff, he doesn't need surgery, and he has a chance to play this week.
If Trey does end up getting the start, and we go back to his October 10 start, it seemed like there was, it took him a while to get rid of the ball. I'm wondering if you thought that was the case, and whether in the 2.5 months since then you've seen him sort of improve in sort of the processing release time aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Trey, though, he only got to play in 1.5 games like that, and there were times in that game he held on to it too long. I didn't think it was all of it. I think there were times he got rid of it pretty fast. He'll get more playing time, more practice this week, and if he plays, he'll get a whole nother game, and I'm sure it won't be perfect. But I think he's been doing a better job in all areas the more he's gotten practice in.
Kyle, how has he just approached these last few days, knowing that Jimmy's tentative, and is he doing more film work, more one-on-one time with certain coaches, any extra passing on the side?
Jimmy, did you ask? Trey?
Trey.
No, I want to say he's doing extra work. I mean, he's been preparing like he's going to start every week. So he's kind of developed a routine throughout this year that it's no different for him when he's the backup or the starter. I think he's excited because he sees early in the week he's got a possibility of starting, and he gets to definitely start at practice today. So I know he's excited for that, but his routine's the same.
Hey, Kyle, I know you mentioned previously that you guys weren't going to do anything with your quarterbacks in terms of COVID and separating them and things like that. Is that still the case just with Jimmy's injury and the COVID situation? Are you doing anything different on that front this week?
Yeah, we did just with today. I made the decision last night. I just had us all Zoom today. Can you hear me? They good? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Okay. I can hear them.
Yeah, I can.
Maybe your phone's messed up because I can hear you. Are the other people hearing me?
For a second there. You're kind of in and out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now.
All right. We had the whole team split up today. We did everything Zoom. I mean, just kind of, we've been pretty fortunate with it so far, just having one guy down, but just watching the world and watching everybody, knowing how it's a matter of time is what it looks like. So we're just trying to be careful and keep everyone separate right now till we go outside.
Just wondering whether the Garoppolo injury is similar to the one that Lance had in August, which I think involved, maybe a piece of the bone coming off. And
No, it's different. That Trey hit on the tip of a helmet and literally chipped a bone off of it. Jimmy tore a ligament, a third-degree sprain, which is a tear. I know I'm trying to be right with my words so you guys don't think I'm making stuff up. I'm not a doctor. Trey's was more it's ligament damage, and when a ligament gets ripped, ligaments are attached to bones, I'm told, and when the ligament gets ripped up, it can pull off a little bit of bone, and that's the fracture that those two guys tweeted. That's why, however you look at a fracture, it technically is, but it's not about that. It's about the ligament.
Hey, hey, Kyle. Let's say Jimmy cannot play this week. It sounds like this is an injury where maybe with more rest, it could improve. Obviously, without surgery, so I mean, he could be in play for the Rams game. Is this accurate?
Yes, because because he didn't break the bone. It's stable, is what they're tied. They told me Drew Brees had one in the last few years or something, and his broke, and that's why he had to get surgery. Jimmy's isn't in that spot. It's stable. That's why he doesn't need surgery right now. And I think he's feeling a lot better today than he was a few days ago. That's why he's got a chance this week. And with it being that case, I'm hoping it only gets better with more time, whether that's this week or the following week.
With the new protocols, and I know you said you guys are just being extra careful, but does this bring up any sort of anxiety or kind of flashbacks to last year and what you guys went through at this point?
We always get flashbacks of last year because it was just weird, the month that we spent. And so almost every time talking to you guys on here gives me flashbacks. But, I think it's been different with our team. Like, even the first week we Zoomed back then, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just the continuous month of it and not being around each other on the road in a hotel. This week, just talking to everyone, everyone knows what's at stake. This week, everyone knows what's at stake next week. The playoffs have essentially started for us. So it's not an issue. We're our team. We all get we all don't prefer Zoom. People know what's at stake with the chances of us losing guys for these games. So it wasn't a hard issue at all going Zoom today.
Kyle, on the running back front, you said Mitchell would be limited today, and how is he progressing? And then also, can we get an update on Trey Sermon?
Trey's good to go. We got to see him last week, even though we didn't get to practice that much. I think he would have been able to go last week. We didn't go with that, more of a special teams decision, but I know Trey Sermon should be good to go this week, and I'm hoping Elijah will.
Coach, with the passing of John Madden yesterday, I was curious about your thoughts about his impact on football and if you had any great personal stories with John or you and your dad and John.
I didn't know John personally. I know my dad did, but I don't know much about that. I just know I've spent, I would have been a much better student if it wasn't for John Madden. I spent my probably first 25 years of my life playing his video game all the time, which was as good of a game as it gets. And I think that's where everyone from my generation kind of knew him exactly. And then you heard him on Monday Night Football all the time. And he was it was cool to see. Like, me growing up, I always watched him on TV and loved him. As I got more into coaching or the aspects of football, I'd always be like, why is he drawing on the screen so long? I want to hear. And then other new guys came when they tried to replace him, and no one could entertain the normal fan as much as he could. And it seemed like they never totally did replace him for a while. And I just know how much he meant, starting with that video game, how much he meant to everyone hearing his voice on Monday Night Football. And I think someone said it yesterday, but he lived as good of a football life as anyone. And without me knowing him, I would totally have to agree on that.
I realize this is medical territory, but the fact that Jimmy could function and play relatively well in the second half against the Titans, I guess some adrenaline had to do with that. But I mean, does that suggest he could do, from what you've been told, does that suggest he could, do something similar this Sunday?
Yeah, since I'm not a doctor either, that's the exact same question I asked. They're positive with it being that because of, that it wasn't fully broken in some of the areas comparing to quarterbacks in the past, that he still has a chance. But they said the second half was completely off adrenaline. Jimmy's a very tough guy. And when you're that amped up, and we've had guys do that before, not necessarily with their thumb, but other stuff. And I've had guys finish games, and then you end up finding that they have an ACL too. So the adrenaline those guys have in the heat of battles is different. But that gives you some hope. But I don't, they quickly told me that it was real impressive that he made it through that game.
Kyle, do you feel the team is better equipped to weather any potential Garoppolo absence than in the past?
I'd like to say that. I mean, we'll see. I mean, we got to still do the same stuff. We got to score more points than the other team, and the best way of doing that is us not turning it over and getting turnovers. I watched a really good team go in there last week with the Texans real down, and I thought the Chargers went up and down the field. Their first 4 drives, I think it went touchdown, field goal. They had 12 points to show out of those 3 scores, and then the fourth one they went right down and they threw a pick. Then I think they had 1 drive in the third quarter, and I think 2 in the fourth. Like you gotta, yeah. I think we can handle anybody being hurt, but you still got to go out and play good football to get a win, and it's not just the quarterback; it's everybody.
What do you see from the Texans, and how much is there to going up against a team that potentially doesn't have much left to play for, other than playing spoiler to teams that are looking to push a playoff berth?
I mean, I would love it if I watched the tape and felt like they were playing like they didn't have much to play for. Then that would be really advantageous for us. But it's all you got to do is turn on the tape, and it quickly you don't think about that stuff at all. I mean, the Chargers are a very good team in all phases, and they had everything to play for, and they went in there and got beat pretty good. You watch some of the other games the Texans have played previous to that. I actually think they look better in those games than they did versus the Chargers. I mean, they had so many guys down versus the Chargers that they were just playing with heart, and they were fortunate enough to make some plays on offense and get some big turnovers that killed the Chargers. So I see a team that is really playing hard, everybody on it. It looks like there's not a choice for that. I think this team, it's not a surprise what they did last week, and I think that's why they're playing better on offense too, and I think they'll surprise some people next year.
All right, last one, guys.
Kyle, there's obviously always a sense of urgency on your team, but you mentioned it earlier. Is it really a playoff mentality amongst the team and your staff at this point?
Definitely. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers. The one thing I do know is if we win both of the games that we're in, but I know it's going to be hard if we lose any. So, not taking it past that, you look at it as if you lose, your season's over, and if you win, it keeps going. And that's, to me, the definition of the playoffs. So our players are aware of that, and that's why we got to make sure we take care of business.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Go ahead for coach.
Good afternoon. How you guys doing? I don't know if they can hear me.
Yeah, they got you.
Hey, Richard, I got you.
Yep.
Oh, hey, Nick. How you doing, man?
Good, yourself?
Doing well. Thanks.
With the Mitch Wisnowski situation, how much can you like game plan, or how does it affect your game plan? You know, not having him during the week, but knowing there's potential he could be back and things that maybe you want to do. How does that maybe change things for you this week?
Yeah, not much. Mitch has been with us, going on 3 years now, so he knows the system. He knows everything that we do, and he's in the Zoom meetings. We went Zoom today, and he's been in all the meetings by Zoom, so he's locked in. He's good to go. He's ready to go in terms of a mental standpoint. I don't think it will affect the game plan much.
Did you guys make a move at the punter position to have someone ready to go in case Mitch isn't available? Who is it, and why did that person get selected?
Yeah, good question, Matt. We made a move with Kobe Wadman. He's on the, I believe he's on the practice squad, and we like him because he has game experience. He has a good leg. He's done well in the league. He's started 28 games. Really good, good quality punter with experience. We've actually played him twice, whether it be regular season or preseason, and then we were in camp with them at Denver, so got a chance to be around him and really see him up close and personal for a while. But he's done well in those 2 games. He's punted in the stadium before, and he's a pro's pro, and he's got a good reputation.
Mitch obviously does a lot for you guys, and here we are with 2 weeks left in the season. Where is he as far as his leg and whether that's, suffered fatigue at this stage, and is that a concern heading into the rest of the year?
Yeah, good question, Matt. No concern with Mitch. You guys all know how we all feel about Mitch. He's a pro, and he'll be ready to go if he's available. But he's one of those guys where mentally, like, nothing really bothers him. He's a stud in that way. So if he ever has a bad play, he always bounces back. If he has a good play, then he tries to have a better play. So I think he'll be fine.
Do you guys have any other questions? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys. Take care. That was simple. Huh?
Simple.
Wow.
Easy stuff. Hey guys, we got Jimmy here for you.
What's up, guys? Can they? I can't see anything.
It'll pop up. Give it a second.
Good.
Hey, just how do you feel? And do you think, knowing your hand and body the way you do you think there's a chance that you'd be able to play on Sunday?
Yeah, definitely. I think just I played the entire game with it basically, so it's really just about being able to grip the ball, do the things I normally do, and we're gonna go test those out today, see how it feels, and go from there. But yeah, I feel confident in it.
Well, why do you feel confident in it, and how did it just feel in the days after the game once the adrenaline wore off, Jimmy?
Christmas made it feel a little better, I'll say. It's a torn ligament though, so it is what it is. Kind of the pain, just it's not going anywhere, so I know what that feels like. But it's just it's about being confident, going out there and being able to do what I normally do with the football. So we'll see where it gets us, but I feel good right now with it.
Hey Jimmy, how difficult was it to play with that in the second half?
Pretty difficult. If you can imagine not being able to use your thumb very much, just the feel of the ball that you normally feel, can't really grip it the same way and throw it the same way. But I felt like as the game went on, I kind of slowly started to adjust to it, and my throwing style actually changed a little bit just to compensate for it.
Kyle, on Monday it mentioned specifically that the third quarter throw. Was that that type of throw particularly difficult with the thumb? And then why didn't you mention it after the game? You didn't have the greatest game, but you did have a thumb injury. Well, why not sort of use that to kind of explain what may have gone on?
For multiple reasons, just that's just not me. Even when it happened on the sideline, I tried to be low key about it and just tell the trainers, but I knew there was cameras and everything. I wasn't trying to put that out there, and just it's not about me, it's about the team, honestly, and that's kind of my mindset. And as cliche as that sounds, that's how I kind of play. And so it was I don't know, it was one of those things, just the beginning of the second half, couldn't really pull it down and save that throw like I usually do, but so it sailed a little bit. But all those things, I think I don't know, as the quarterback, you're supposed to be out there. As a quarterback, it's my team, and I'm supposed to be out there, and that's kind of the mindset I've always had.
Jimmy, Kyle mentioned the other day that it happened on the sack, the Autry sack there toward the end of the second quarter. Can you walk us through, did your thumb get tangled? Did you land on it funny? What exactly happened?
Yeah, he kind of, Bud Dupree, I'm pretty sure was coming from behind me, kind of grabbed me from behind, if you can imagine. I was holding the ball, and he kind of hip tossed me using my thumb, and then we landed on my thumb on top of that. So it was kind of the perfect storm for a thumb injury. But that's football. Stuff happens out there, and just gotta move on, and that's what I tried to do out there.
That was actually what I was going to ask. So Kyle mentioned that there's a sense of urgency around the facility now, that it's a playoff mentality. How do you feel about the energy in the locker room at this point? Good. Definitely better than it was after the game. Just I think guys got away for a couple of days, got to enjoy Christmas, and it's playoff atmosphere now. Now it's for real, and it has been for a while now, but now the chips are really on the table. So it's an excited locker room, I'll say. Guys are confident right now. I know everything happened last week, but guys are confident just in the team that we have, and we know what we could do.
Hey Jimmy, have you actually tried to throw since the game, or will today be the first time you attempt it?
No, today will be the first day. We've been just trying to tack it down as much as possible, get some of that swelling out. Just trying to be precautious with it. But yeah, today we'll get out there, go throw it around, and see how it feels.
Jimmy, obviously we're back on Zoom, and you guys have been doing meetings via Zoom. Is there any anxiety or flashbacks to last year, even though it's not quite that bad? Has that come up at all for you guys?
You definitely get the feeling, especially the first couple days of doing Zoom again. I think just knowing with COVID and everything, you got to do what you got to do as far as protocols go. But I think just as a football team, we enjoy being around each other. We enjoy being in the locker room, talking to each other, messing around, all that good stuff. And it's just hard to do it on Zoom. It's that slight delay really makes things a little awkward. So
We'll do 2 more, please.
Hey, Jimmy, you may have seen that John Lynch mistakenly liked a tweet saying the 49ers should leave you in Nashville. What was your reaction when you saw that the first time, and did he call you to clear things up?
Yeah, John did. John's first class, always has been, always will be. I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose, but whatever social media mistake, stuff happens. I trust John, and John's been nothing but good to me since I've been here, and I don't see him changing anytime soon.
Jimmy, Kyle described it as a grade 3 sprain, which is a very serious sprain. How much are you going to be able to work with, the training staff, the coaching staff, and figure out that, if you aren't up to the level where you can spend the ball the way you want, then maybe the better option would be trade to start this game? How are you going to approach that from the mindset of you wanting to play, but also, having to put the team first?
I think that, I don't know, it kind of comes naturally to me. I always put the team first. As much as you want to look out for yourself and do what's right for you, team comes first, and I've lived my whole life like that, so I don't think that'll change. But I think it's just a matter of being, on the same page with me, the coaches, the trainers, all, we'll see how it looks today. If it looks good, it looks good. If it looks bad, it looks bad. It's just kind of one of those things you got to test it out and, go through it. But until we do that, it'll be hard to say. But yeah, I mean, we'll all be on the same page, and we'll do the right thing for the team.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Jimmy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
I don't get to see my video.
Just kind of, how are you guys aware of it and need to be aware of it?
Man, that's news to me. You the first one who told me. Nah, I'm playing. Yeah, that's obviously going to be the topic of conversation this week. Anytime you got any type of quarterback situation, with injuries and stuff, it's gonna be talked about. But the game plan will be the same for us on defense. This is a week where we got to be hyper focused, and it's got to be our best performance. We got to come in and start fast, finish even faster. I think that's my mindset. It's a 1-game season right now, and our whole entire focus is on the Texans' offense, stopping them, and run past whatever. It's got to fall on our shoulders on defense. That's how I'm taking it.
Kyle on Monday said that Trey Lance has had the best 4 weeks, most recent 4 weeks, since he's been here, and that the defensive coaches and defensive players would say the same thing. So, that's the question to you. I mean, what have you seen from Lance, and if Kyle's right, what exactly kind of leaps out to you about him?
Yeah, I think just his confidence has continued to grow and grow. I think early on in the season, working on the scout team, he was kind of more so playing things a little safer. Using his legs a lot to try and just extend or just to run, and didn't want to throw an interception. And I kind of had to pull him to the side and be like, "Hey, look, Trey. First of all, we weren't getting the work that we needed to defend balls down the field, and that's why you saw that on game day. And also, just for his sake, I'm like, listen, this is your opportunity to take chances, and develop in that part of your game. Take a chance, try and see, can you fit the ball in the tight spaces, or can you throw on the run and make a completed pass down the field, different things like that. And so I think after that conversation was had, he started to really just grow, and you start seeing these crazy plays where he's just getting right over guys' fingertips and just tossing the ball downfield, making these great plays. And so it's just a confidence thing. You grow every year, especially as a rookie. Just every single day doing things a little more and more, pushing the limits, and I think that's what I've seen out of him.
A couple things from the past weekend. First, how much attention did you pay to other games going on, things that might affect, your own playoff standing? And also, with the extra week this year, getting 18 weeks in an extra game, how beneficial was the time off to kind of, recover over the last few days also?
It was good just to be able to watch football. That's something that I always enjoy, but I didn't really pay attention much to, kind of what people talk about, the seedings and stuff. I don't really know anything about it much, and I know that we control what we can control. I also know that that extra 3 or 4 days was huge. Anytime you get even a little break, because we're constantly going. That kind of helps with guys getting their legs back, guys who are trying to work their way back into being able to play this week. That's an advantage for us.
Hey Fred, I'm not sure how deep you are into Texans film, but if you have watched a little bit, what have your impressions been of their quarterback Davis Mills?
I think he's done a great job, honestly. I hadn't really heard a lot about him before actually watching the tape, but then I watched the tape and I was pretty impressed. I think they do a good job of keeping things fairly simple for him. They want to make sure that they're efficient with the football. He's smart with his decision making, can make all the throws, kind of has that savvy to be able to extend plays with his legs and get the ball down the field. So I was really impressed with what I saw. I know they want to be able to get the run game going to kind of help him out and open things up in the pass game. So we're just gonna have to be on top of it like always.
We'll do these last three.
Hi Fred, with the passing of John Madden yesterday, I was just curious what your thoughts were about his impact on football, maybe how cool it was when you first saw yourself in this video game.
Yeah, such a huge impact. Just his love for the game, and obviously Madden. You have a NFL football game named after you. That's a huge deal, especially for someone like myself growing up playing that game 24/7. It was pretty special when I first saw my little player on the game, and didn't have to create a player just to have myself on the game anymore. And so that was tough hearing that news, but he impacted a lot of people and impacted the game in a huge way.
Hey Fred, how does it impact your preparation going against a team that hasn't played very well this season, but now seems to have a little bit of extra motivation to kind of play spoiler?
It doesn't change it at all. I think the mindset every single week is to prepare as if it's your last. That's my mindset. I think if you kind of look ahead or you downplay your opponent or anything like that, you're literally how you're going to get exposed. And I think this point in the season, if you didn't have a reason to be hyper-focused or extremely intentional in your work, you have every reason to now, because these last two games are extremely important in the result of how we finish and extending our season. So like I said, I'm just focused on one game, Houston Texans, and figuring out how to stop their offense.
Just to back at the Titans game for a minute, it was a challenging second half for you. You guys played much tighter in the first half. What now, after looking at the film, do you have to say about like what happened in that second half for you?
Yeah, I think it just came down to not getting off the field in crucial moments. You know, those third and long situations, especially where it should be automatic that we stop them. We weren't as tight in coverage. I think that's just what it comes down to. I look at myself and I look at the rest of the back end, how we could have been tighter in some of those situations. Tackling got sloppy on my part and on other guys, and so it's just looking at that. I know those are things that for sure could be fixed going into this week. Just like I said, being intentional in the way that we work throughout each rep this starting today. I think that's what's going to lead us to success come Sunday.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.